It's time for Good Policies this morning, brought to you by the Barrett Insurance Agency. Find them on Facebook or give them a call at what phone number?
748-5224.
Good Policies.
Good Policies. So what do you want to talk about this morning, Val?
Good Policies. Is a policy when it's raining, it's good to roll your car windows up. Right? That's a good policy.
That's a great policy. Maybe even close the sunroof.
It's also a good policy to try to get more than 3 hours sleep a night when you're putting in 8 or 10 hour days, right?
Yes.
See, these are all good policies.
These are all good policies. I don't practice the last one.
Well, that's kind of what I...
9-month-old.
I got that impression. You look tired this morning.
I came in sounding like the... What's the donkey on Winnie the Pooh?
Eeyore.
Good morning, Val. So what do you like to talk about? I got a couple things in my head, but I'm going to let you choose. How's that sound?
Give me some choices.
All right. Choice number 1, when you modify your home, such as what I did this past weekend, should you talk to your insurance agent? That's choice number 1. Choice number 2 is listing drivers on your auto policy. You pick.
I have another one I want to throw in there.
No, there's only 2 today. Go ahead.
Can getting a higher, a more inclusive policy that's going to list your house at a $600,000 replacement cost.
Oh, you like this the whole conversation.
Bite you in the rear end at the tax office.
No. It's totally separate.
It's not gonna change the way they value your house.
No, because they don't have access to that. That's not documentation for them to carry.
Of course they have. It's public information.
No, it's not.
Oh.
It's a contract between a company and you.
Okay, so it's not going to hurt you.
It's not going to hurt you at all. No. If you were all right, let's say I wrote you a policy. What town do you live in?
I live in Kirby.
Kirby. All right. So say the Kirby town offices call me up and said, hey, you insure Val. We want to know what you're insuring him for because we want to get him for the value that you're insuring him for. I'll say, I'm sorry, I don't have authorization to give that information to you. Company would say the same thing. So, yeah, it's a contract. It's privy to you and I. That's it.
It would change the world for a lot of people.
It really would. It really would. So,
right.
Okay, so we got that one done. So let's move on. Which of the 2 that I described would you like to talk about?
What were they again?
Good morning.
Well, no, I mean,
all right, so if you modify your home, do you call me? That's choice number 1.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what brought up that question is because modifying your home can increase the value of your property.
There you go. Yeah, let's talk about that. Because next week for sure, though, I want to talk about auto policies. We haven't talked about that for a while, so I want to dive back into that.
All right.
But, yes, so this past weekend, my brother-in-law flew in for special from Cape Girardeau, Missouri, to do nothing but build a deck for me and fly home. And that's exactly, literally, absolutely what he did. So now I went from a 16 by 8 deck to is the town of Waterford listening?
Yeah, you're gonna be...
To a 30 by 12. So I've increased the size of my deck because I had the room for it.
It's a beautiful deck.
Aesthetically, it fits better than the other one did, but that changes the value of my home. So let's say if I put X amount of dollars in for materials, that's not what I'm going to be valuing my addition for, my deck for.
Right.
It's going to be based on using the values that we use to determine the value for a home.
Right.
So, you're talking a deck of that size could have boosted the value of my home for a replacement value by $6,000 or $7,000. It's not what I paid, thank goodness.
Right.
I wouldn't be here right now.
But if you had to pay somebody to do that in materials and cost.
Yeah, because he put in some long days. He worked all day Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and early morning Sunday before he flew out. He literally had 5 minutes before he was supposed to leave to shower. So
that's awesome.
So that worked out well for me. But certainly the value of my home has now changed, and I think on a greater scale is that people have a tendency to maybe build a garage or attach a garage or detached, whatever it is, or add a structure like a porch or a deck or an addition. It's very important that you tell your insurance agent or company about that.
Or upgrading the kitchen or whatever.
Right. I mean, changes that are subtle, certainly not a need, but changes that are obviously going to impact the value of your home or make your home safer should certainly be reported.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good to know. So next week we're going to hit car insurance.
I think it's time.
We've about beat the house thing to death.
We really have. We'll come back to that in a few weeks when people forgot we talked about it. But
you mean
us?
For me, 10 minutes from now. Did we talk about that?
We did talk about that. We'll talk about it again.
All right.
But yeah, I think the big thing I'll talk about next week is who is insured. there's a difference between who is an insured on a homeowner policy versus who is an insured on an auto policy. I think that's a great topic to talk about.
Absolutely.
And we'll do that next week.
Especially for people who have teenage kids.
Right. And I think that's what's leading me to that is this is the season. This is the driving season. And I'll tell you, you've seen sticker shock numerous times, Val.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's scary. And so I think it's important to talk about that. There's some misconceptions out there that I've been hearing over the past couple of weeks, and we'll give you details next week.
All right. This has been Good Policies, brought to you by Barrett Insurance, 802-748-5224, or online at thebarrettagency.com, and on Facebook,
Barrett Insurance Agency.
Barrett Insurance Agency. All
Have a
right.
great week, Val. Hopefully next week I'll be awake.
Yeah, we'll talk next week.